ordinary family
4 astronauts go up into space and come back forever changed.
will become fantastic. On July 25th.
Your planet is marked for death.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Their greatest strength
Johnny, quit screwing around!
is each other.
I tell you how to drive the ship, don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel released another new trailer of the Fantastic Four with a bunch of new footage and references, along with more Galactus and an official synopsis, which actually canonizes him in the live-action MCU as a space god. Galactus isn't a god in the comics, he's more of a cosmic entity. I'll explain why I think they made that change for the live-action MCU. I think it's mostly to set up concepts that they're going to pay off during Avengers Secret Wars. They're not making him a celestial, he's a completely different type of cosmic character in the comics, and they are keeping that, but as you can see from all the previous footage, they are changing some things, like they're doing the Shala Bal version of Silver Surfer instead of the Norrin Rad version. So it seems like because this is being set in an alternate universe, they're just taking advantage of that to change some of the comic book stuff, but a lot of this does look like a Jack Kirby panel just brought to life. Like even the way they do some of these action scenes seems like they're done to look like Jack Kirby come to life. Because the movie's about to come out, we're doing that ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what you want them to do with Galactus after the big soft reboot in Avengers Secret Wars when we head forward in Marvel Phase 7 and they focus on more mutant, X-Men related stuff and more cosmic stuff. There will be more cosmic stuff happening, like we have Fantastic Four sequels that they're already working on. I've already done a video about that, like they're literally already developing a Fantastic Four 2, but it'd be set in present day MCU because it's going to be after Secret Wars. Meaning that there will be some more MCU character crossover, like opportunities for big crossovers that you were expecting in this movie, even though this is set in the 1960s, and we're not going to see any like real huge crossover characters till the actual post-credit scene. Kind of like we saw with the Thunderbolts post-credit scene and the Fantastic Four showing up at the beginning of Avengers Doomsday. That Thunderbolt post-credit scene is literally meant to take place at the beginning of Avengers Doomsday.
Extra dimensional, what does that mean?
But some of the most important new footage in this that hasn't been in the previous trailers is we see way more of Galactus, his world ship Ta-2, and him consuming an actual planet, like what it looks like when Galactus in the live-action MCU actually consumes a planet. Notice it seems like he actually reforms his body Transformer style and just bores right through it like a giant drill, just like literally munching a planet through its core. There have been a lot of different depictions of Galactus in animation, in the comics, and the way that he absorbs energy from planets, but he can't just like walk up and literally just munch on an actual planet. Like, he has to transform himself in some way or transform the planet into matter that he can absorb, energy that he can absorb. It seems like the way they're visualizing this in the MCU, it's sort of a combination of classic Marvel comics and a little bit of Transformers live-action energy with Unicron in the way that he consumes planets by literally munching them. Really fun Marvel connection behind the scenes too. Coleman Domingo did the voice for Unicron in the live-action Transformers movie, and he also plays Norman Osborn during Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. With great power comes great respect. Really cool twist on the classic Spider-Man line. Very in keeping with the tone of what you would expect from a Norman Osborn type of character. A lot of the footage in the previous trailer actually shows the Fantastic Four in their spacesuits literally walking up on Galactus in what looks like his world ship, Ta-2, with Silver Surfer speaking to them. Like you can see Silver Surfer in the background here talking to them. I think a lot of this explains how they wind up learning about Galactus' existence in the sort of conflict that you see between Silver Surfer coming to Earth, telling them that she is heralding the end of their world and that Galactus is coming. There's a little question about the actual order of when this all goes down, like does she come to Earth first and herald Galactus' coming, or do they meet her for the first time when they go to this other planet to see what Galactus is doing, consuming it? Just because a lot of this brand new footage actually focuses on Silver Surfer trying to capture Franklin Richards and them escaping in their spaceship through a black hole, with Ben Grimm firing, yelling at Johnny Storm, who's working on the blasters, trying to destroy her. Johnny being down bad for this female version of Silver Surfer might actually be a reference to the original Coming of Galactus that they're adapting for the movie, where Norrin Rad actually eventually got into a romantic relationship with Alicia Masters.
Don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
But in that original Galactus storyline, it was actually Silver Surfer running into Alicia Masters and spending time with her that actually convinced him to rebel against Galactus in the first place and help the Fantastic Four Reed Richards repel Galactus, get him to leave essentially, which was basically because of the Ultimate Nullifier and the Watchers. So there's a really powerful weapon involved in that version. I don't know if they're going to use the Ultimate Nullifier during this movie. But here's the new official synopsis for the movie that actually canonizes Galactus as a god in the MCU, or they refer to him as a god. It says, set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s-inspired retro-futuristic world, the film follows Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, played by Ralph Ineson. We still haven't heard his voice during any of the trailers yet. They're really holding back on that. If you've not heard him, he sounds fantastic. And his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. They're just referring to her as Silver Surfer, but I think most of us think that she's inspired more by the Shala Ball version of Silver Surfer, who was actually the girlfriend of Norrin Radd and eventually also became one of Galactus' heralds after Norrin Radd. And it goes on to say, if Galactus' plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. That's a reference to Galactus wanting Franklin Richards, who we see in all the brand new trailers. Like, I believe that Sue Storm actually gives birth to him during this chase scene that we see in this trailer where Johnny Storm is firing the rockets at Silver Surfer and she's flying through the black hole. Like, you can actually see the black hole in the background, trying to steal Franklin Richards for Galactus. Like, Galactus basically told her, get that baby. Which actually raises the next big question, why does Galactus want Franklin Richards so badly? There's some comic book ways of explaining that, but in the live-action MCU, the rumor right now is that Galactus wants to use Franklin Richards' powers to actually create other entire universes to recreate Galactus' original world, which was called Ta. Notice that his world ship that we also see in the trailers is called the Ta too. Way before Galactus became Galactus, he was actually a humanoid scientist called Galen of Ta. He looked more like a human. He wasn't human, but he was humanoid. He's actually one of the few things that predates the existence of the current version of the MCU universe that we're actually seeing in all of the movies. Now, technically, they're in an alternate universe, so you have to think of it more of a multiversal scale, but the idea is that he predates this version of the multiverse, along with things like the Infinity Stones, things like the Celestials, and things like Null, god of symbiotes.
The King in Black is awake.
There are actually only a couple things that predate the actual existence of the multiverse as we see it right now. Even the really big cosmic entities like Eternity that we saw during Thor Love and Thunder, we actually saw some of the other cosmic entities too. They weren't actually born till after the Big Bang. Within the comics, the way they refer to this is the actual cosmos, the living entity of the multiverse itself, all universes. It actually has its own life cycle, like birth and death. When the cosmos dies, another cosmos is born. So it's sort of like a cycle of big bangs, like the universe eventually contracts, and then boom, another big bang happens, another version of the cosmos is born, another version of the multiverse is born, all these different universes. Now in the comics, Galactus is different because he is not a multiversal being. There's a version of Galactus in every single universe. But it seems like in the live-action MCU, they're going to say there's only one version of Galactus who is a multiversal being and just goes from different universe to different universe. Galactus actually serves a very important cosmic purpose. They call him the Hunger. They've been using that for a lot of jokes about the Galactus popcorn bucket for the movie, like it's this giant Galactus head. Just try to eat all that popcorn. Galactus' purpose is basically to consume dying worlds to free up space for other universes, other galaxies to be born. Sort of like the other side of the coin from the Celestials, this purpose is to create new galaxies, new suns. But the reason why he's so powerful is because he has the power cosmic, which is a different type of cosmic power. That's also what he grants a portion of to his heralds, like the Silver Surfer, and why the Silver Surfers are always so powerful. It doesn't make him as powerful as the Infinity Gauntlet, like he's not quite that powerful, but he's close. And he's close to being as powerful as the most powerful Celestials. The difference with the Celestials, though, is that they all tend to work as a group, like the Celestial host. So Galactus himself couldn't destroy an entire Celestial host, which is why both of them kind of give each other wide berths. Like Galactus tries to avoid the Celestials. But at least in the comics, he's just a cosmic entity. That's just the way they refer to him. He's not an elder of the universe. He's not a space god. I think they're just referring to that within the context of the MCU because it's just easy shorthand to think of him as a god. One of the differences with gods in the actual comics is that they actually draw their power from a completely different source, typically from the faith of their followers. That is not how Galactus has his power. The reason why he gained the power cosmic is because he was literally created from this original Galen of Ta scientist during the original death of his version of the universe. He was like the last living being, along with a ship full of people watching the death of their universe, just witnessing to see what would happen after the next Big Bang, if they could survive it. That previous version of the cosmos, the living entity of the multiverse itself, also wanted to survive its own death, so it made a bargain with Galen of Ta to fuse into a single being, so Galactus basically has the power of an entire multiverse, or part of it inside of him, which is where the power cosmic was born, allowing them to survive the Big Bang into the next cosmos. But because of the combination of those two concepts, the cosmos with this humanoid scientist, Galen of Ta, that's why they look like this, like why he became this creation, this very, very powerful looking giant person. I kind of feel like I should have worn this shirt for like the last big Fantastic Four trailer video I did, because the whole theme of that trailer was making Ben Grimm say the thing. Just say the thing. But everyone, post all your reactions in the comments below, and if there's any Easter eggs that you spotted that I didn't talk about in my previous videos, just write them below in the comments. And I'll keep the giveaway open for the next couple weeks just because we do have a little while before the movie actually comes out. But there was just a bunch of big WTF information that released. Like, Sony Marvel is basically dead in the water right now. They're basically killed off any other movies that they're working on. The Batman 2 finally happening. There was a big spoiler bros moment for Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And James Gunn literally talked about the death of Marvel and what killed them the last couple of years. So I'll try to do videos for all that stuff in the next couple of days. Click here to learn about Marvel's brand new X-Men movie that they're working on, and click here for all my Superman videos too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.